And we welcome you to day number 1 of the UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF. Welcome to Jeddah. We are in Ober Bay as we get you ready for more qualifying. We've already completed the qualifying time trials, and that takes us to Q1. You'll also see Q2 coming up. And of course, we'll wrap up the day with qualifying pole shootout where there are points on the line. 3 to first, 2 to second, and 1 to third. Right now, let's get you up to speed and explain how all the qualifying works here at E1.
Absolutely, thanks very much, Todd. So next up we have Q1 and Q2. Now one pilot from each team has 2 attempts to record a fastest lap. And just like before, the slowest 2 teams after the pilot has done both their laps are eliminated. And then moving forward, we go into the qualifying pole shootout, which follows a similar structure and format as Q1 and Q2, but points are on the line. And this is where the top 3 receive 3, 2, and 1 point respectively.
And if you were with us earlier, you saw Westbrook with a team of Sarah Price and Luke Sordonias put up the fastest combined time with a 1:05.48. Brady finishing in second, Rafa in third, Aoki in fourth, and the new team Monaco rounding out the top 5. Fortunately, Miami and Blue Rising were eliminated, so 8 teams now moving forward here into Q1. And we'll start things off with the first group. It'll be 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, which means Monaco, Drogba, Alula, Sierra will be first up. So a great day to go racing in Jeddah. It will be Q1. 4 teams in each group getting 2 opportunities. As Saunders pointed out, 2 laps to put up your fastest combined time as we get a sense of what it's like out there today. The wind is still blowing out on the Ober Bay. Right now, let's take a look at the course map here in Saudi Arabia and what we've got at round number 1 of 8.
Yes, the pilots are becoming more and more familiar with this with the sessions that have gone on throughout the day. We're racing on the Red Sea. Key characteristics, it's dense, it's salty, which helps with getting the foil out of the water, getting that lift you need. But the challenge here is this sharp, stutter-like chop, which is only getting worse as the day goes on based on pilot reporting we've heard. If you hit a wave wrong and the prop comes out of the water, it cavitates, sucks air, you lose power and you drop like a stone, and you lose, crucially, time, position, and the chance of points that we have in the pole shootout. Kind of a 2-half lap. You've got the start-finish, that's where all the speed is, and then the technical sections on either end of the course.
So the all-electric race birds are juiced up and ready to go as we get you set for Q1, then Q2, and then the qualifying pole shootout.
So far, it has been Team Westbrook and Brady that have been the best at the smooth hands that are needed, both on balancing the throttle and the trim to get the perfect balance of the race bird out of the water. And I think sometimes when the chop gets bigger, like it's being reported to be, that control and that patience can often mean more than the raw speed.
All right, so the launch zone is clear, and now it's on to milling as more and more fans have made their way down on the water. I want to give you the Group 1 start list. It'll be for Sierra, Eric Stark. For Team Drogba, Michael Wilkerson. For Team Alula, Rusty Wyatt. And Monaco will start things off with Max Noshare. So the first 4 getting ready to go. The second 4 will be waiting in the wings, quite literally, as we get things underway. So what have we learned with 30 seconds away quickly, Saunders? What have we learned from qualifying time trials that they will carry forth here in QE1?
I mean, the main thing is that the conditions are changing, and it seems that they're changing quite rapidly. You can tell that both from the reports we've had from the pilots, but also from the lap times themselves in the time trials. It was very, very hard for those later time trials to match the times of their teammates that have been done in the sessions before. So that doesn't mean much now. It's a new game now. It's a new race for position and elimination. So let's see how they fare.
A little bit of housekeeping. 2 laps, only your best run counts. So this is not like qualifying where it's average of the 2.
I love it, the jeopardy. The jeopardy is there, it's strong. You've got to get into that point of the pole shootout as well, where you can actually get your first points of the weekend and of the season. There's a lot up for grabs, and this is the first lap starting right now.
Sierra Racing Club decides now is the time to go. Eric Stark, the pilot.
Now we know what a good time was in the time trials, but is that reflective now? Have the conditions changed in just the sort of 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so since the time trials to now? Things can change very quick on the water, as we know, Todd.
Look across the water, you see lots of ripples out there as some of the pilots have reported the wind is really swirling. And this could possibly be an aborted run for Sierra Racing Club.
So far, it's hard to me. There's no benchmarks to kind of get it against in this session with the current conditions, but we'll just keep an eye on this and how smooth the Racebird looks in the water. You know, is it sitting nice and parallel, level? Is it perfectly positioned, almost in a straight line, pointing towards the horizon? Is it up and down? Is it washing left and right? They're the things we need to look out for. But that did seem, as you said, Todd, like an aborted lap. Because Team Sierra have gone back towards the milling area to join the others.
Yep.
So we'll see, and I can see on our timing sheet as well, all of the sector timings that had been put in by Eric Stark have disappeared. So looks like we're resetting.
Okay. One thing you do need to know, as we've got the field cut from 10 down to 8, again, it's cutthroat. Bottom 2 teams after 2 laps in Q1 will be eliminated.
And no scapegoat of now, Team Blue Rising defaulting one of those elimination spots this time.
Yeah, that minor safety net is gone. So Team Blue Rising, if you're just joining us, down 1 driver, injured. John Peters was able to get out there, get some points for qualifying time trials, but without a second pilot, they are eliminated. So who's going to make the first move as the clock continues to count down? Remember, it's just 20 minutes here in this first group where we've got Sierra, Alula, Drogba, and Monaco.
This looks like it's just a rinse and repeat. Eric Stark going again, almost like that didn't happen, Todd.
And officially it did not happen, so this time it looks like he means business.
Crucial first turn here. How smooth is it going to be? A little bit imbalanced. It doesn't seem to lose too much time. It's just real fine margins with keeping the Racebird balanced, but also tipping the nose down to the water the amount you need just to pull it round the corner. You can't just be sitting parallel around the corners, because then you're making the Racebird do a lot more work. You only want to do that in these moments when you're on the straight and you kind of want to be straight line, pointed to the horizon, just perfectly flying above the water like the water's not even there. And that is what we're seeing from Eric Starks right here, but it can very, very easily be undone in the corners that follow.
So because they finished in 8th and they did get out of qualifying time trials, they do go first with Eric Stark and Sierra Racing Club. His partner is Rihanna O'Mara Hunt, filling in for Katie Munnings. Injured in this round, unable to go.
So we got a 14-7 in sector 1 there, and I think we were looking at 16s in the previous time trial. So whether that's a condition improvement or just Eric Stark being rapid, we'll have to see as the other lap times start coming in from the others, but he set the benchmark right there. It's a 1:07.7 for the lap.
So that means that Team Alula, owned by LeBron James, will be the next ones to go up. 1:07.774 to be exact is the mark to beat, and that puts the onus on Rusty Wyatt, the Canadian. So Rusty, we saw sitting at the launch zone for quite some time, trying to stay cool. We'll see how that all plays out.
Rusty Wyatt, of course, having a bit of a name for himself for making a quick mark on any championships that he gets involved in. He's Rookie of the Year in the T850 category in 2012. 2024, he started his F1 H2O World Championship in his rookie year, and he had 4 podium finishes in that. So he does hit the ground running well. We saw some moments of performance last season, but this is really now full season, ready to go, see what he can do.
Trying to keep his team in the situation of not being bottom 8. So top 6 is what you're gunning for here.
It's currently looking okay. As it stands, he's up on time. He's quickest through the second sector. Personal best through the first sector, but it is his first lap. But let's see if he can be quicker than Eric Stark was in the third sector and put Alula on top of the combined standings.
So just 2 laps here in this 20-minute session. He comes flying down here. Watch this left-hander. See how he handles it. Not terrible. And he will cross the line, putting his team into second place. So 2.63 seconds back of Sierra Racing's Eric Stark.
Yeah, where he was marginally quicker in the second sector, we're talking, you know, hundredths of a second. It was undone quite abruptly in the third sector, where he was almost 1 whole second slower.
And that means we move on to the next team, which will be Team Drogba. Michael Wilkinson, quick turnaround for him as he was on literally the last qualifying in time trials, and here he is back out on the water.
Not a huge amount of time to cool down
No.
in the 30-degree heat.
Counters a little bit of chop there, a little bit of a swell coming across as he comes flying out.
Let's see how he gets on in that first sector. Yeah. Quicker than Rusty Wyatt. Quicker than Rusty Wyatt, but not quicker than Eric Stark. Second sector and third sector is going to have to be where he makes at the time.
Need to be in the top 6 if you want to compete in Q2.
Purple sector in sector 2, looking improved. It was good, about 3, almost 2 and a bit tenths quicker in the second sector, but what happens for the last sector? Can he do what's needed?
Michael Wilkinson bringing it across for Drogba, coming to the line. Where will he be?
Wow!
Goes into first place. So a great run. Last sector really delivered for Team Drogba Global Africa and Didier Drogba's squad. Great job by Michael Wilkinson saving the best for last, and he drops a 107.22.
Really strong second and third sector there to get the top spot.
So Max Nosher now, who does have some winging, kite surfing background. He's familiar with how the whole foiling things work, and he's familiar with speed, and that's going to be the most important thing right now. Wants to get his team in a good position. Looks like pretty decent conditions right there, Saunders.
Yeah, it does. Well, based on the timings, it seems to have improved from the time trial, and it just goes in another testament to show how quickly things can change.
So we'll take you on board with the new Team Monaco. Team Monaco out on the water here in Jeddah.
Looking pretty smooth around this corner as he touches on the boost button on the steering wheel, using the extra power just on those moments out of corners where there's a little bit of a straight. That's the time to use it and then save it a little bit more here now to get around this turn. One more there, following on the left onto the back the back straight where you want to use the rest of the boost. He's only done a little touch there, maybe saving the boost now for that start-finish straight at the end.
Almost full boost right here, so he is using it up. He's gonna have to back it off, let it regenerate. Looking for better than a 107.22.
About 4.5 seconds off the pace at the moment. It's going to have to be one hell of a third sector to make up the deficit. But stranger things have happened in E1, I can tell you that.
He's going to need triple boost if he's going to want to get himself into the top 3. No, not this time. So 4th place on lap number 1 of 2 for Monaco's Maxime Nosher. Okay, so all 4 have taken 1 lap.
1 of 2 done. what have they learned from their first lap? What can they do to improve in this last chance they have of this section before they give it over to their teammate, and then it's elimination time, you know?
Eric Stark back on course.
Purple in first sector. Eric Stark looking pretty strong here. Clearly happy with the setup, as you can see on screen, by the way. It looks very balanced here, and just sort of glides around those corners, isn't sort of bumping or rocking side to side or being caught by weight. Everything looks pretty smooth going as it stands. This back straight really important. He's decided to use all of the boost there, and it has helped him improve his time as well. And then unfortunately lost some time in the second sector. Can he reclaim the top spot in the third sector? Just over 2 seconds off the pace now. It's going to need to be a big final sector. Just doesn't have the minerals.
Oh, and a red flag comes out right at the end. So the 110, does that stand, or does he hold on to the second place of, well, the clock has stopped at 8:17 remaining. So once again, another red flag rears its ugly head here in Jeddah, and that will bring racing to a stop for the time being.
There's Rihanna and Katie Munnings watching on there. Both Sierra Racing Club pilots. Katie Munnings out with a knee injury at the moment, and Rihanna taking her place this weekend.
So I don't want to speculate just yet on what the red flag is, and hopefully it'll be resolved here quickly.
That's a tough break, isn't it?
Yeah, I see it's coming out.
Eric Stark, as you're listening to his radio.
So we will try and get a clarification on, and Saunders, you may know this, does he get that lap over again because the flag came out before he finished?
I would assume so, because, you know, it's a disadvantage that isn't his fault. He didn't complete the lap. I think obviously if he had completed the lap it would be a different story. But is there an argument to say that there is an unfair advantage for more run time? So this is going to be one for the stewards, I think, to decide. But there clearly is a precedent, I think, I would imagine, in the rule book somewhere that says how this would proceed. Just milling around in the milling area now, waiting for more information.
Well, the red flag continues. That gives us another opportunity to go down to the launch zone and check it one more time with Taylor Snyder, who's standing by with Katie Munnings.
Down here on the launch zone, Katie Munnings, you're watching this race happen, and Eric is doing quite well out there. I think we're sitting in Q2 with that red flag right now, but what do you think his thoughts are right now?
Oh yeah, I'm so happy he was able to get a lap in early on because the chaos of the delayed sessions, it makes it really hard to know how to time your lap and get your strategy. So he did such a good job, really flat water. I think it could be enough, but just hoping he's going to get another clean shot at it. He was a red flag just before he started, so he finished his lap, sorry, so I think he'll be able to get another attempt because it wasn't the cleanest lap, so fingers crossed for us.
Fingers crossed, best of luck.
Thank you.
Sierra Racing Club hoping for another lap there as Katie Munnings injured this event, unable to go. Rihanna O'Meara Hunt filling in her for her. So the red flag maintains right now, and Team Drogba has the fastest time here in Q1 with a 107.22. Sierra Racing sits in second, Alula in third, and Monaco in fourth, with another group still to go and take their first laps. Want to stay out of the top, you want to stay in the top six, I should say, and not be eliminated in the bottom two. and move on into Q2. So apologize for the delay right now. Red flag on the course. All racing comes to a stop as they assess the issue, try and fix it, get us rectified, ready to go racing yet again.
Yeah, we're just looking out for the jet skis to see
where
what they're doing.
maintenance?
Yeah, we saw previously in an earlier session the jet ski doing some work on some smart marks. I'm wondering if it's a similar thing, but I think this is a really good opportunity to talk about the mentality that athletes have in these moments where patience is really required, and especially when if you're one of the athletes that lives in a moment of focus, this really messes that up. So they have to try and keep in that zone while waiting for information. It's really hot in the cockpit. There's no air conditioning. Yeah, I think it takes some minerals.
That's a very valid point as we send it back down to the launch zone and more with Taylor Snyder.
It is a bit of chaos down here, but I'm here with Eva, with Drogba. You guys have finished one lap, and so far Micah is sitting at the top, but obviously the chaos continues. What's going through Micah's head right now during this milling period?
I think he's very concentrated now and thinking how he can improve a bit more, and I'm sure he will do a very good lap, and it will be hopefully even faster than the first one.
You're exactly where you want to be, right? So as long as you stay in that top, you don't get eliminated. What's it going to do? What's it going to take to stay at that top spot?
I mean, now we get to the second, third Q3, and then I must do my part and then also make a good lap times. I will do my best.
You'll do your best, absolutely, of course. But what's it like with that a little additional pressure of the potential for being eliminated?
It puts on the driver a lot of pressure, and you must know how to handle it, not to make mistakes, because in the end we must go out and concentrate only on the driving. In this moment you don't focus on the time, you just do your best.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Taylor. The red flag is still in place, and the teams are still waiting with 8:06 remaining in Q1, this first session of teams who placed in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th coming out of the qualifying time trials here in Jeddah. Coming up next, we will have obviously the teams 1 through 4, top 4 place teams. And you can see Team Brady, Team Westbrook, Rafa, and Aoki. Don't see any maintenance out there. All you do is see one rogue jet ski that is maybe checking markers. And the teams continue to mill about with the red flag in place.
Now, as we saw in the time trials, there's an opportunity that comes with these red flags is, you know, especially when you think about racing, if we get things like this when it comes to the racing, there's a really good opportunity to make the most of the green when it starts. You know, we saw it when you are all there. You're not doing one lap at a time. This is one lap at a time, but if this happens again, it's something to keep your mind on, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is just sit and wait with 8:06 remaining in Q1 Group A.
Just looking at this octopus-like sculpture,
yeah,
bottom left hand of the screen there.
You know, we could probably send Taylor over there to give it a go. She could report back on that.
Eric Stark looking very cool, calm and collected there for Sierra Racing Club. I mean, I think probably calm and collected more than cool, because it is hot out in Jeddah. It's 30 degrees, there's no air conditioning in those cockpits, and you're just sitting there with something that is naturally generating heat behind you with the powertrain. Is only getting hotter.
Still under a red flag here as we're in Q1, and we still have Q2 and, of course, qualifying pole shootout still to go. Appreciate everyone's patience. We're trying to get this solved as quick as possible. With 8:06 remaining on Q1 Group A, it gives us an opportunity once though to go down to the launch zone. Taylor Snyder with Sarah Price from Westbrook Racing.
Down here with Sarah Price. Sarah, a little bit of red flag. We got the red down here. I think it's you guys. No, but we're waiting around. What is the pressure like? Obviously, you're going from full race mode, ready to get in the boat, to then stop, hold on. How does that change your brainwaves for staying focused?
I think it's just kind of a second nature for me, you know. You just, like, when you get in the boat, you just flip the switch, you focus, and when you get out, it's just back to normal. But yeah, it's a stressful thing out there. To try to get a good lap of these boats is not easy, and we all want that good lap. So when you do get one, it's such a relief.
You guys are at that top. You found the speed so far. Do you think that conditions on the water, depending on the time of day, what is changing out there to find that speed or to not find the speed for other teams?
Well, I think right now a lot's changing because the buoys keep moving right now. So they keep getting put in places, and then, you know, the wind takes them a little further away, and so you are seeing some different times right now, and so that's going to definitely, I think, mix things up. I'm not sure how they're going to work with that, but that's why we're red flagged right now, is to wait for the buoys to get back in place. And yeah, it's wind is definitely a thing, you know, when we're flying and wind gust comes through, it does take the boat off the foils, so it is something we have to think of.
There's a lot to think of out there. Do you think about the eliminations? Obviously, this is new this season. There's that potential for being eliminated early on. Is that something that goes through your brain, or are you just in race mode?
Obviously, you don't want to be eliminated, but no, when I'm out there, I don't think about it at all. I'm just trying to do the best I can. I'm not even trying to go out there and win. I'm just trying to do the best I can, and I hope that's the top spot.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And the red flag is still in place as we try to get everything solved so we can go back to racing. Sarah alluded to the fact that the markers have been pushed by the wind, and we have seen some bigger gusts swirling around in the last 20-30 minutes, so hoping to get that resolved. Two new teams that have joined in, with Sierra Racing on the left and Monaco on the right. They are both taking part here in Q1, first group.
Tough first day at the office.
Yeah.
I think this one, in terms of delays. But I think Sarah made a really interesting point then, just to kind of go back to that mentality topic we brought up. You know, she says she doesn't necessarily go out there to win. She goes out there to put her best performance down and hope that's the top spot. Because I think sometimes in these situations, like, athletes can put too much pressure on themselves to deliver. And that desperation to win can end up being an edge that makes them perform at a lower level, where sometimes just having, like, you know, I'm going to do the best I can, that unlocks this sort of comfort, and maybe that's how she performs. But I know there's also other athletes that need that pressure, like they have to win at all costs to get them across the line. And just looking, Todd, at the conditions, in the back of that interview, we did see it looked like the chop was increasing a bit. There was certainly some wind, and that is something that's quite common with this part of the world. Later in the afternoon and the evening, you get like this increase in knots in the wind. It's mostly a northerly wind, and I think as that then pushes back off the Corniche, you get this quite unpredictable, quick, punchy chop. So if that is the case, and this has kind of increased since this red flag has gone out, we could see lap times slow down a bit.
Maxime, they're on board the Monaco race bird, just sitting and waiting for somebody to give them information that we are back to green flag racing with 8:06 remaining here in the first group of qualifying one. Q1, 2 laps. Trying to put down the best lap. You see the challenge has gone up to a 4 out of 10. Not much else has changed though. Humidity staying roughly around the same as temperature.
Wind picks up a bit. I think it was 30 earlier. It's now 35. So
so you said it's
difference.
really cooling down.
Well, if
not quite.
Maybe that's what's playing the part of the challenge level increase with that chop. And that is where, you know, just looking now at Team Monaco, that is where Max Nosha's experience should pay off, not just with foiling and hydrofoiling experience, but also predicting weather and predicting wind and the way that's going to impact the chop. Wonder how easy it is to do that from the cockpit, though.
So a little bit of movement in the milling area as the red flag continues here in racing in Jeddah. And Sierra Racing with Eric Stark. Is he putting himself into position? Does he know something we don't?
All green flag incoming, we're getting the report. It's changed on our timing screens.
So here we go. Back to racing. The clock is underway yet again, and we are green flag in Jeddah. So Sierra Racing currently sitting in second place behind Team Drogba. And we'll see if that nice little pause has changed Mother Nature's opinion of the course.
It's gone quickest in the first sector, Eric Stark has. That's a good way to bounce back from that weight. Can he follow it up with a quicker second sector? It's looking smooth, not too much bouncing around going on, looking pretty balanced. It's a big improvement in that first sector and the second sector.
He is flying.
It's about 3 seconds quicker.
Trying to top a 107.22 to put them into first place. Does indeed, 106.59, so worth the wait for Eric Stark and Sierra Racing Club as he puts his team into first.
0.6 being the difference. Not a huge margin in E1. Sometimes we're used to, you know, 2, 3, 4 plus seconds. So, but today, I think everybody's getting more up to speed with this championship as they race in more locations across the world and understand the dynamics of the hydrofoil and the way that it works with the electric powertrain. Those margins coming closer and closer. Exciting.
LeBron James squad now. Team Alula, Rusty Wyatt. See what the Canadian can do here on Jeddah's waters.
Rusty Wyatt, of course, familiar with the world of powerboat racing, but was introduced to E1 last season. Oh, that doesn't look too good, does it? A lot of time lost there, surely. And that sound, you can hear it, that's the prop coming out of the water. It's wasted power there. That's where that all-important trimming down, getting the prop back into the water just below the surface to keep propelling the Racebird forward. And what does that? Where does that end him up? Yeah, he made some time back in the third sector, but lost 3 seconds in the first sector and just around about a second in the first sector.
So Eric Stark for Sierra Racing, the only team that has completed the 2, and now Rusty Wyatt has also done so. Unable to improve there, so Team Alula stays currently in third with that just almost 1.5 seconds off the pace.
And of course, that was Rusty's second lap.
Yep.
So, you know, that's it now. It's out of the boat. You know, that was the best he could do from this session, and now it's down to the teammate.
Team Drogba now on course.
follow on virtually with Michael Wilkinson. It's not the best first sector for him. Definitely chance to improve on that. It's not massively off, just over half a second. I think he's managed to get a little bit of time back through those 3 turns in that first sector of the lap.
Can he save it here in the second half?
Personal best in the second sector. Still some work to do.
Little dip on the left side, and he comes across the line. And how about this?
Wow.
Drogba into first with a 105.59.
That even caught the team off guard a little bit there, that great third sector.
And then there was one final team to complete their second lap, Team Monaco. New to E1, and they are underway.
Master of the foil takes to the water. I think that's a new term. We're going to have to claim that, I think. Master of the foil, especially with 11 World Kite Foil Championships to his name. Can he be the master of the foil in E1? It's the personal best through the first sector.
Needs better than a 105.59 to move his team into first place. They currently hold down fourth.
A little bit off the mark at the moment, just under 2 seconds, but still plenty of lap to make it up. That's a very good second sector. It's a personal improvement, not quite as quick as Micah or Eric, but an improvement on his own time. A big third sector could go a long way here. He needs it. Last bit of boost across the line, and unfortunately not able to do it.
So not an improvement there for Monaco, so they will stay in fourth, and that brings the first group's 2 laps to a conclusion. Remember, the top 6 teams are moving on to Q2 when all is said and done.
Listen a little bit here. I think I heard him say that the second sector was good until the back straight, and that's where we saw him just come out off balance of sorts and lost a lot of time. Rusty Wyatt, that is, for Alula.
So how surprised are you that Team Drogba and Michael Wilkinson able to get that time? Goes 105.59, and we've been talking about the wind, we've talked about the conditions getting a little more difficult, and he slays it.
It's just such a strong third sector. You know, over 4/10 quicker on that third sector, and then a little bit more in the others to give him all round 1 second quicker than Eric Stark for Sierra Racing behind. But it is all about combined standards, isn't it? You know, this is just the first half of the challenge.
Right.
The teammate has to do the work in the second half to keep it that way.
All right, so we are set for the second group. Before we do that, let's go back down to the launch zone and Taylor Snyder.
Down here with Eric Stark, Sierra Racing Club proved to have a little speed today. You guys are finishing in second in that round. You've set up your next teammate for a pretty good position.
Yeah, I mean, we have, like, we had a few testing days before, and we're battling a little bit to find the pace against the others. But seems like today we you know, every time we are out there, we're getting faster and faster. Even Rihanna doing a great job being faster and faster every time we're out. And I mean, we're a new team, it's a new crew, so we're learning. But I mean, the boat feels good, and you know, it was nice to beat a few at least.
Absolutely, it's always a good feeling, and obviously a new team, but there's always still the challenges that you face in terms of water conditions. The wind is out here, the buoy's moving. What is it like to take all of that together and just put a good lap in?
I mean, it's quite frustrating. Like you do like 90% of a lap that you feel is quite good, and then like in the last corner they say it's red flag, and then I mean you need to go back, wait, and like recharge again, and so yeah, it's a little bit. But I mean, I was happy with my lap. I did some mistakes in the before the last turn, but you know, if you compare this to what we were a few days ago, like we are very happy, and like you say, it's a new team, so. You know, every position up we can take, it's a win for us.
Definitely progress. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
So halfway done for those teams as they will wait for their teammate now to take over, handing off the information they've got. So Saunders, we've gone through the qualifying time trials. We're now in the midst of Q1. Take us through the format and then what lies ahead.
Absolutely. So this is Q1, and we've got Q1 and Q2. So we've had one pilot from the first team have 2 attempts to record a fastest lap. In Q2, it will be the other pilot, and of course we have the rest of the grid to do that in between. And then crucially, whoever, I guess think about it as the first pilot, second pilot, then the first pilot again will go in for the shootout. But in the meantime, there is elimination after Q2 as well.
All right, so we continue on as we get ready for the second half of Q1. Before we do that, it's back down to the launch zone and Taylor Snyder.
Down here with Max from Team Monaco. You are the starter pilot. This is your first season with E1. What is it like? Obviously you've done testing, but now it's race time. What's the pressure like for starting this season?
I mean, yeah, for us it's quite hard. I mean, we're still collecting some data and trim the boat well. There's so much setting into that boat, but we improve each session, which is quite positive. I'm hoping the best, and let's see if we reach the Q2 and Q3 maybe.
I spoke to your teammate Oben earlier, and obviously she has some great experience with E1. What is it like sharing information with her?
I mean, it's great because I have my setting and she have also a setting, and I think we make a good fit. Yeah, we're improving. I mean, we share everything, and I think that's the keys.
Wonderful. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
So we are now taking a look at what took place just moments ago on the 2 laps in Q1 for positions 8, 7, 6, and 5. And Team Drogba with Michael Wilkinson getting the win. What a great performance, saving it for the very last. You have Sierra Racing Club, Alula, and Monaco, the first, second, third, and fourth. So now it's sit and wait to see if they've done enough and can they move on. There you see the start list as we get ready for another round of Q1 racing here at Jeddah, the E1 Jeddah GP 2026. In the midst of Q1 here at the UIM E1 World Championship, this is day one of round one of 8 as we get the E1 Jeddah GP 2026 underway. We're getting ready for the second half of Q1. Before we do that, let's head on down to the launch zone and visit with Taylor Snyder.
Sarah, we're down here waiting for your teammate to run. Obviously, you guys finish in that 4th position, but they invert it. So he's got lane 1, Danny has out there. That's some clean water. Is he excited about having that position?
Absolutely. You know, he's going out there first, and it's quite interesting to see the change in qualifying and how they've done it this year. I think it'll really spice things up, give people more opportunity to kind of prove their lap timing. So it'll be interesting, and Danny's excited to be out there. He's just, I can hear him on the radio just anxiously waiting on Racer to tell him he can go out.
What is it like? Obviously, the heat's kind of gone down a little bit, but what goes through your mind when you're sitting and milling?
You just have to kind of place yourself, because everyone out there is trying to get in front of each other. So you just have to plan that you can line yourself up in a way where nobody can trouble you, be in front of you. But it's just really a mental game out there, especially before a race.
I think any race is obviously a mental game. You know, you're battling, you're trying to find the best lap. Do you think about your competitors, or is today purely about your best times?
Today is purely about best times. You know, the way that they've set up qualifying is very similar to Formula 1, where you have Q1, Q2, and Q3, and the bottom 2 from each round will then get eliminated. So it's interesting to see how it spices the day up, and I think it's much calmer. Qualifying today has been much calmer than in the past year. So I like it so far. I have no complaints.
All right, well, best of luck to Aoki Racing.
Thank you very much.
So Q1 Group B start list. There you see Rafa, Brady, Aoki, and Westbrook. And I don't know, I'm not a professional weatherman, but I will say this, Saunders, it looks like the wind maybe has come down just a little bit, because the water looks a little glassier, and just as I say that, I'm seeing more ripples. So scratch that, and we'll go back, and I'll stick to my day job. Look at the flags on the bow of that boat over there on the right-hand side of your screen. They are whipping.
Yeah, well, I think the timings will tell, won't they,
Yeah.
in here? And, you know, as Sarah just said, her teammate Aoki gets the first run here,
Yeah.
based on the finishing position in the time trial. This is now the 4 quickest boats from the time trial setting out, and in reverse order. So the ones that was quickest before, Team Westbrook will be the last to put in their lap. But here it comes.
Danny
Benny
Close, Tom
Close.
Chapp, Emma Kimalainen, and Sarah Price will be the 4 pilots that you'll see here in the second half of Q1. Now remember, we've already seen the first half go, and once they finish their 2 laps here in the second half, we will be able to cut the field, and only 6 will be moving forward to Q2.
And back to your point about the conditions, if things have changed between those, you know, the first group in Q1 and the second group in Q1, it does change whether it's a big advantage or a big disadvantage. So this lap time will go a long way to see who is likely to be at threat. Because if we're looking 2-3 seconds quicker because of improved conditions, then it massively favors this group over the first group.
So you see the throttle and the boost coming on for Team Aoki. Danny Close. Listen to that race bird work.
Well, so far, that is a fairly significantly slower lap time.
Well, the good news is it does slot him into a top 3 right now. Just over 1.56, 1.5 off the best time we've seen from Team Drogba's 1:05.59.
So, I mean, is that just the difference between the first lap and the second lap worth of time there? So maybe the conditions haven't necessarily changed that much. It keeps it fair, keeps it even, which is kind of what we want to see.
So mission control, they continue to look over the monitors, getting the data, seeing where the wind is, feeding that information to their driver on board as you get a good look now at Tom Chapp out of France. Here we go, Rafa Nadal's Team Rafa on course. Trying to top the 1:05.59.
First sector has gone purple. Already quicker than Danny Kloss in that first sector. We're looking for a time better than around the 26.6 mark for the second sector in order to be competitive with that top three. It's looking good so far. Let's see how the second sector ends up.
It's on a heater.
Yeah, lost a decent amount of time in that second sector
Yeah,
to
he
Danny
did.
Close.
Announcer jinx.
Almost 2 seconds, but still opportunity to make it back in the third sector.
Cuts the corner tight. Now a straight shot to the finish line.
Okay, not
Yeah, work to do.
theoretically not safe of elimination. You know, Westbrook and Brady haven't gone yet. If they can better that time, and Tom can't better his own time in his second lap, then he's at danger.
We will not be seeing them in Q2. So that leaves the 2 fastest teams set to go. It'll be Team Brady, Team Westbrook. Ooh, Westbrook Racing's looking pretty fast today, but can the 2-time defending champs Team Brady with Emma Kymäläinen get it done right here, right now? He's better than a 105.59 to put her into a top position. And it will be Team Brady now on the clock.
Full throttle, trying to hit that time. Lots of experience with Emma Kymäläinen in a double championship winning team. So far, purple sector, quickest through sector 1. Things looking good so far. Can she maintain this pace across the rest of the lap and put Brady where they are when it comes to championship standings, or reigning championship standings, and want to be for this Q1? Quickest again in sector 2. So far looking like a very competitive lap. Just one more sector to go. Really good first and second sector, lots of time.
This is gonna be it. Team Brady into first place, 104.58.
That was only going one way, wasn't it? That just looked so quick on the water.
Well, she was locked in and did a tremendous job, so a full second ahead of second place and Team Drogba. And then there was one, Westbrook Racing, top qualifying team out of the qualifying time trials. Here they find themselves in Q1 trying to get a good time. You are looking at Sarah Price.
There really isn't much time between the top and safety and elimination here. You know, 4 seconds is a corner.
So can Sarah Price answer back from Team Brady's Emma Kymäläinen? See a lot of wind out on the course. You see those dark patches as she makes the turn.
Not quite as quick as Emma Kymäläinen through that first sector, but quicker than the other two of Tom Chap and Danny Close. Let's see how she does in the second sector.
Keeping that ride height consistent, trying to stay smooth. Sarah Price with a big incident there. She makes the quarter, squares it off, and comes across the line. Ooh. And that is going to be a costly mistake, as that will drop them into 5th place. Now, still safe, but just barely.
So obviously that confirms Monaco eliminated and won't be taking part in Q2 or the pole shootout, which means no points today. That's off the cards.
Yep.
And now a team that has been so competitive in E1 in their history, a championship contender last season, is now fighting for a 1 lap to stop elimination, and it's Tom Chap.
So Tom Chap and Team Rafa will have to pull a proverbial rabbit out of the hat to keep themselves alive. Only the top 6 are moving on to Q2.
0.2 of a second away from safety, almost 0.3.
And it's a full logjam right there in positions 5, 6, and 7. Danny Close now back on course.
Looking very quick through that turn, nicely balanced, very smooth. Not the best lap so far from Danny Close. Might be tricky to improve.
Oh, nice turn there in that last corner.
Could have made it up in the 3rd sector. No.
So Danny Close, Team Aoki, they will stay in 4th place for the time being. 2.33 seconds off the pace put up by the leaders, Team Brady and Emma Kymäläinen.
Now, if there is one pilot you had to ask me can pull out a quick lap from nowhere, before watching today, I would have said Tom Chap.
Okay.
Let's see if he can prove me and anyone else that thinks that right. 1 lap to improve by just around about 0.3 of a second for safety.
Trying to get himself ahead of Team Alula, and it is tight.
If he's able to do it,
right,
it'll be Chris Lazaraga taking in Q2, and it'll be Tom back in the cockpit for the shootout, if they make it to the shootout. And it's so far so good. It's a fastest sector, purple in sector 1.
Boy, look at that. Ride height's almost perfect. Completely hooked up. Not a lot of bobble. Very smooth.
Personal best in sector 2. Last few set of turns to see whether he's done the job he needs to do.
Oh, hang on. Here we go. Last turn.
Has he done it? He has.
Yes. So Team Rafa moves out of 7th and into 5th, and that puts Team Alula now in the relegation with Monaco.
Team Rafa live to fight another day in Q2 and potentially beyond. But look, and yeah, Team Monaco and Alula eliminated.
So by my math, Saunders, it looks to me like it's all but done and dusted, with Westbrook safely in at 6th and Team Brady in at 1st, and they're the last 2 teams remaining. So unfortunately, it looks like Monaco and Team Alula are done for the day.
Yes, I think that is correct assessment there, Todd. And we now have the other half of each team in Q2 to do the same again. And the two slowest from that session will also be eliminated before we go into a shootout.
Now, it's worth noting that your result here in Q1 does not go forward, as much as the Team Brady folks would love to have that happen, because Emma Kymäläinen laid down a very fast time, 104.58. Can she improve upon it? Emma Kenalainen on the backside now. Tremendous driver from Finland for Team Brady, defending champions. Here we go.
No improvement on time in the first and second sector. Not that it necessarily matters. The only thing this means is lane position. I guess it's inverse again. So for Q2, it'll be in reverse order. So currently, Team Westbrook would start first and have that opportunity of clean water.
So not an improvement on what she did on her first lap, and now she is done. Her work is done as she will hand off that race bird to her teammate Sam Coleman into Q2. And all that's left is to see what Sarah Price can do with Westbrook Racing. For Will Smith, do they come out of 6 or do they go to 1?
Westbrook got the popcorn ready.
Look at
the
this.
drama.
Full drama.
And this is interesting because obviously you want to get the best time you
Sure.
can. But is there a benefit to staying where you are? You're safe and you get the optimum lane position for the next qualifying session, the Q2. It's not a winner's mentality, but it could be an interesting strategy. I think Sarah's going to go for it.
Why not? She had the fastest time in qualifying time trial, so why not do it here in Q1 as well and send a message to the rest of the fleet that she means business this weekend. The Storm Riders are here, ready to go in Jeddah.
It's purple in the first sector. So far, so good for Sarah Price.
Got a little Dakar mentality, working her way through the course here in Jeddah. Look at this. Looking very fast and very smooth.
Personal best in sector 2. Where is that going to end up at the end of the third sector? Can she improve on her time?
It's going to come down to these final 10 seconds. Keeps the boat hooked up, and it will not be enough to go into first place, but she does pick up 2 more positions. So Westbrook Racing, the hands of Sarah Price, goes from 6th into 4th, and Q1 now looking very much done and dusted. Speaking of done and dusted, Team Alulu and Monaco will be eliminated as the bottom 2 teams in Q1.
Six teams left for Q2. We'll have 2 sessions again, 3 in each.
And this all leads up to the final race of the day, the qualifying pole shootout, where there will be championship points available. The winner picks up 3, 2 for second and 1 for third. So Tom Chapp, if you were playing at home, did just enough to get his team into the next round. They will go on to Q2. Well, he will hand the race bird off to his partner, Chris Lazaraga. Just like another walk in the park. Makes it look easy.
She does make it look very easy.
And Westbrook Racing now, last boat to bring it back into the launch zone. Okay, so we now turn our attention on to Q2. Before we do that, we want to head back down to Taylor Snyder with another very interested participant.
Tom, I see you were talking with your teammate Chris, talking about strategy. What was that session like for you and Team Rafa?
Just the session, to be honest, it's really bad. We don't know why we are here. To be honest, like we don't have any pace. Today we're struggling to get the speed. We don't know why. Yesterday we have problem with the boat, so like normal. So yeah, difficult for the moment actually. So, but yeah, all the team work really hard to understand. But obviously, it's not the pace what we have from the beginning of the test. We were all the time on the top, and now we are like really slow compared to the normal. So yeah, let's work and let's prepare the next session and the race. It's a long weekend, so but now it's a bit disappointing. But yeah, we will work on it and we will find the solution for sure.
Like you said, it's a long race weekend. Anything can happen, and I think that you guys are a team that if anybody was to pull it off, it would be you. What are your teammates' thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, I'm really happy with the team and with Chris. We worked a lot, and we are a really great team behind us, and so it's helping a lot. So now we're struggling a bit, but we will find it, and when we will find, we will refine our normal pace and to be on the top soon. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tom.
Saunders, I sense a bit of frustration for Team Rafa.
Yeah, and I think he ticks off a few points there that we kind of loosely talked about. Just that expectation for Team Rafa being a quick team, you know, especially in qualifying. It's a place where we've seen some really good performance in their time in E1. So I think, yeah, we're almost as surprised as Tom is there. Clearly some struggles at the team when it comes to that one-lap pace. As you said, though, long weekend to go. They've done what they had to do to get into Q2 and still be up for points. But, yeah, didn't seem the most confident about the pace, did he?
So the debriefing underway for Westbrook Racing as Sarah Price and Lucas Ordonez now can look forward to Q2. And there you see the results for Q1. It is Brady, Drogba, Sierra, and Westbrook top 4. Aoki and Rafa in the top 6. Eliminated Alula and Monaco. Their day is done. And we now flip the script and turn the page to Q2, where only the top 6 teams will go. And this will be interesting. Broken up into 2 groups of 3. So you got Rafa, Aoki, and Westbrook, and then you've got Sierra, Drogba, and Brady. So buckle up, Q2 is on the way as we continue on with more coverage of round 1 of 8 here at the E1 Jeddah GP 2026. Welcome to qualifying. This is Q2 on day one of the UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF. Alongside Saunders Carmichael Brown and Taylor Snyder, I'm Todd Harris. Glad to have you with us as we get ready for Q2 and we ratchet it up one more time. 2 more laps, only the top 6 teams. And again, the bottom 2 will be eliminated. Let's check in down at launch zone with Taylor.
Down here on the launch zone with Danny. Danny, I love the new suits. Beware the dragon. You're coming out. Your teammate, Sarah, just got in the boat. You guys are high spirits. Obviously, you had that clean water in the last round. What does your teammate now have to do in this next one?
Well, now it's going to be a little bit different. We're in Q2, and it's getting tougher and tougher all the time. The water, you know what? It changes like a little bit, you know, all the time. We need to guess sometimes what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that Sarah's going to do a mega job. I'm trying to do my best too, and let's see.
And this is obviously different this season with the eliminations. Do you think about that? Obviously, you guys are making it through, but how much has the pressure increased knowing that that's a potential this season?
Well, you know, at the end, every time that we're in the boat, we try to do our best, you know, and that's how we need to think. Sometimes will happen, sometimes others will be quicker, but we don't have to put that much pressure on us. We just have to do the job and bring the boat safe.
Excellent. Thank you, Danny.
Thanks.
So as Danny said, it is Q2 time now. 3 boats in each group, and it'll be 2 laps with the bottom 2 teams eliminated. So do the math quickly. You don't need an abacus for this. You got 6 boats, 2 eliminated. It'll be 4. And what do we do with those 4? We take them to the pole shootout.
A really exciting addition to the format, making this qualifying day a little extra special, bit more action, bit more drama and jeopardy in there. I certainly like it.
So there you see Westbrook Racing ready to go for Will Smith, and it's Lucas Ordonez out of Spain who takes over for Sarah Price, who did a great job to get them into Q2 as he makes his way now to the milling area, leaving the launch zone. So a lot of hopes on the line, hoping that they can make it into the qualifying pole shootout at the end of the day and possibly pick up 3 points, which goes a long way the overall title chase. This is just round 1 of 8 as we will traverse 4 different continents here in season 3 as the teams now will make their way out to that milling area and we will get Q2 underway. Made a prediction earlier, Saunders, that I thought the weather was calming a little bit with the winds dying down. I'm not going to say anything this time. Just have to wait and see as we get ready for Q2 here on day number 1 at the E1 Jeddah GP 2026. Beautiful view of Jeddah here in Saudi Arabia, the host city for round number 1. This is known as the Bride of the Red Sea, a coastal and commercial hub and the gateway to Mecca. Famous for its diverse food scene, traditional Saudi dishes combined with flavors from Africa, South Asia, and the Middle East. As we take a look at the course, as it stays the same as we get ready for Q2.
Yeah, the pilots have learned a lot now about this course. The only thing that changes, of course, is the conditions. There's 2 long straights, the start-finish straight, then the back straight. That's where all the speed is. The start-finish straight is a bit protected by the wall of the Corniche, and there's a real good opportunity to make up any lost time there. And then it gets a little bit more technical around the other 2 sides of the course. Time now can be very much earned in that final sector, as we've seen. Any mistake in the first 2 sectors can easily be undone in the 3rd sector.
All right, let's take a look at the starters for Q2 as they are getting themselves into position. It'll be teams Rafa, Aoki, and Westbrook, and that means Chris Lazaraga, Sarah Masir, and Lucas Ordonez for Will Smith's team. All right, got to keep yourself in a top 4 position now. So it's kind of like a game of musical chairs, and every time we take 2 more chairs out. So you got to find yourself a spot to sit, be in the top 4 on time, and then hand it off to your partner for the big race of the day. That will be the pole shootout, which will also be 2 laps. Popcorn at the ready as the drama continues to build here in Jeddah. Onboard view from Team Aoki. Worth noting, last year Team Aoki Racing Team, winners at this event. Conditions a little bit different than what we're seeing today.
Yeah, a lot more smooth today, and there was a real difference in the prop choice there between Brady, let's say, finished P5 in the end in that GP, with Aoki getting the win. I think they've learned their lesson this time around, safe to say, with Team Brady.
We are counting down to just over 35 seconds to go before the start of Q2. A long day of racing so far, and now we come down to crunch time with serious points, implications on the line for the overall as the teams are in position in the milling area. And then it will be go time. 2 laps for each of the teams out on the water right now. And a tight, quick turnaround for Team Rafa with Chris Lazaraga taking over for Tom Chap. A little frustrated by the way the boat is performing, and we'll see what she can do with it, possibly turn their fortunes around and get them into the top 4 position.
Here we go, Chris Lazaraga, start time. Rafa should be finishing this turn and then would be starting the lap, but they seem to be heading a little bit towards the launch zone, but they might just be finishing that sector. So to give themselves a bit of time, they're not rushing.
Yeah.
They're taking their time. They're getting the composure. Maybe some last minute chatting with the team with the radio. You can see Chris talking a little bit on the radio just a second ago there. Last little bits of strategy potentially being communicated on how to get the most out of this race bird, which they have said, or Tom, her teammate, have said, have struggled a little bit with so far when it comes to race pace. They've got a decent amount of time to get these 2 laps done.
Right.
It will be Chris Lazaraga starting. Let's hope that they've found some improvement in performance between the laps that Tom put in. They just narrowly got into this session, but there is still 2 more to be eliminated from this one in the second half of Q2.
In case you're wondering, it is worth noting from the 20 minutes that we saw in Q1 and the qualifying time trials, it is now down to 15 minutes. So just 3 boats in each session. Try to get those 2 laps in the next 13 minutes and 45 seconds as Rafa is now on the clock. Favorable water conditions, nice turn there, making the left-hander, and then it'll be another left-hander, and then the backside of the course with a long straightaway.
It doesn't look too choppy out there at the moment, although, as Danny Close said previously, things can change very quickly. While we ride on board with Chris Lazaraga for Team Rafa. That trim being constantly adjusted to keep that foil in the perfect place in the racebird ride height, parallel with the water, a little bit side to side wobbly there. Is that going to cost some time? This is going to be the benchmark set for this group of Q2. Final bit of boost being added for this 3rd sector. Let's see what the lap time is.
Nice turn there, coming through to the line and the finish, and it will be a time of 106.55. So that becomes the mark to beat, and you need to stay in the top 4 after all 6 have gone their 2 laps. So gotta feel pretty good if you're Team Rafa. That was a strong performance from Chris Lazaraga.
It's a competitive time if we base it on the previous sessions, but we don't know how much the conditions have changed. So it's almost like every one of these sessions is a reset, because if even there is just the micro adjustment when it comes to the chop or the wind, that can go a long way and really add or to the lap time or take away if it improves. So that's the benchmark set. Let's see how Saramize for Aoki responds. Down to you, Sarah.
How do you feel about that first section we saw off the line?
It looks, there's a bit of bouncing. It doesn't look overly anything to worry about, but let's see how she deals with these two corners. We're really looking for a smooth entry, a little bit of boost on the exit as well, just to take advantage of the straight that follows from each of these turns, getting ready for this next turn. We've got 2 more turns coming up now, looking fairly smooth, not too much bobbling up and down, a little bit side to side. Now she should be straight on the boost now for this back straight. Good opportunity to make up any time lost.
And there it is.
We're not seeing the timing at the moment, but it's looking good to the eye. A little bit of time maybe lost there. The nose just dipping into the water a bit more than she probably intended.
Looking for some balance and some clean sailing here as she makes her way through this final section of the course. Where will this time be? And this is going to be tight. So off the pace of what we saw just moments ago from Team Rafa, the 106.55. Really not threatened there, as Aoki Racing will have to settle for a 110.549 and one more opportunity.
I think there's those wobbles at the start of the lap, and then in that third sector we saw just that bouncing up and down as the nose dipped into the water a bit too much. That seems to be the time lost there. 4 seconds. It wasn't that big of a gap with elimination in the last Q1.
Yeah.
So that could be very, very troubling for Aoki.
Now it's Lucas Ordonez's time here in the first group of Q2, trying to put the hammer down, put himself in a good position and his team as Westbrook looks to be into that final race of the day, the pole shootout. Going to need better than a 106.55 to take over the lead.
This isn't just about getting into the pole shootout, it's getting the chance at points. You know,
Right.
3 points are up for grabs in the session that follows this, the pole shootout, after Q2 is complete. And let's just remind ourselves, the difference between winning the championship last season was only 11 points.
Over 8, yep.
Over 8 rounds, 3 points goes a long way.
You know what the harshest thing of the day is? Getting all the way to the pole shootout and finishing in 4th, and you get no points.
Yes.
At least for 3rd, you get a point, a token point, 3 for the winner, but nothing for 4th place, even if you make it to the pole shootout.
So first sector in, and it is a personal best for Lucas Ordonez. But how that compares, it's quicker than Sarah Mizier, but slower than Chris Lazaraga. Second sector, slower than both, not an improvement in time there. A lot of work to do for Lucas in this third sector if he wants to top the combined standings.
Gonna have to work his magic here on these final turns. And Lucas Ordonez comes through for Westbrook Racing into 2nd place. So as you pointed out, faster than Aoki, but not as fast as Rafa. And as a driver, a pilot, I've got to think, Saunders, you know where you made mistakes. You know where you can get some more speed.
Yeah, I think with these race birds, based on conversations I've had with pilots, there's so much feeling. Like they're sitting so close to the water, they feel every bounce, every vibration, so they'll know which turns were bad and which sectors were good. I think you can always hear them just debrief instantly to the team.
He wants to know what Aoki is, and he can be told that he is ahead of Aoki about half a second, but 3 seconds off the pace of Rafa.
And here we go, Team Rafa looking like they're setting out for their 2nd lap. Chris Lazaraga already top of the combined standings, but constantly wants to improve just in case there's improvement for the other 2 below. It's a good safety blanket for now, though. 3 seconds is healthy.
Can she find more time out there to cut off that and really send a message to the rest of the fleet, with another session still to come with Drogba, Team Brady, and of course Sierra Racing Club.
Looking a bit smooth here, but the first sector wasn't her best, nor was the second, off the pace that she set herself, which was a very competitive 106.55. Doesn't look like it's going to improve this lap. We're looking
just not nearly as clean.
Unless she turns this racebird into a rocket ship for the final sector, doesn't look likely.
The last turn was nice, but she will come through, and she is off her pace by almost 2.5 seconds. So staying with the 106.55 for Team Rafa. Chris Lazaraga's work is done. Now, she just has to hope that holds up and is a top 4 position.
Now, cue Aoki to try and improve that time. Currently almost 4 seconds off the pace.
Yeah.
Sarah Mizzer will know exactly where those mistakes were made. She'll know what needs to change, and she'll try and put that quickly into practice just a few minutes later to try and keep them in the game.
On the clock, here we go.
An improvement in the first sector, quicker than Team Westbrook's first sector in their previous lap, but slower than Chris Lagaraza on her currently time-topping lap. Let's see what she can do in the second sector. Definitely still chance to improve on that time. Whether it's enough to get the top spot, maybe not at the moment, but improvements have been made on the previous time. Oh, disappointing second sector there. Lost some time. Still quicker than Lucas Ordonez's last second sector.
On the boost, here we go. Final turn to the left. A little bit of rocking from side to side, keeps it smooth around there, takes a wider angle and comes to the line and does move ahead of Westbrook Racing. So a nice job of recovery on the second half of that.
I think there was a big collective exhale in the Aoki team there, knowing that a little less work has to be done now when it comes to the second half of Q2.
But, and there's a big but, and there's always a but, Westbrook Racing will have the final say for this group. So while a great job was done by Sarah Masir, it is now up to Lucas Ordonez. And he is heading out now.
It's so tricky, this format. You're not just racing the other two. There's 3 yet to come, and the conditions could change. If they drastically improve, the lap time comes crashing down. They need to put the best lap they can possibly put in now to keep them safe, because after this, there will be 2 more eliminations at the end of Q2.
And you bring up a great point. Aoki and Westbrook could both be eliminated.
Easily.
As their times don't stack up. If Drogba, Brady, and Sierra Racing Club throw it down. So Lucas Ordonez really needs to get himself, got to get ahead of Aoki to give yourself an opportunity, knowing that there's 3 more very fast teams ready to take the water in the second half.
It's an improvement in the first sector so far. Quicker than Sarah Mizir. The same again in sector 2. Might be able to snatch this second place straight back off Aoki if things can continue this way in the final sector.
Slowing down just a little bit there, was only half a second off the pace of Rafa, and now sliding back just a little bit. This is going to be close.
Is it enough? It is.
It is. There you go. Just barely. What is that, 1600ths of a second?
So the margins are so tight today.
Yeah.
I think Tom Chapp made a really good point on the previous discussion with Taylor, that the teams have learned a lot, and the gap now between them has come down so much. Such fine margins and tiny gaps of time. Earlier on it was thousandths of a second between position, where in the past that has easily been 2, 3, 4 seconds.
So a good run for Lucas Ordonez. So the first half of Q2 is now complete, and we will get set for the second. And it'll be Drogba, Team Brady, and Sierra Racing Club, as we get a chance to listen in and talk with the man who brings the boats in. Lucas, well done in there. The pressure was really on you for that last run. You got some good data about what Aoki needed. Did you run your race, or did you race basically knowing the time that you had to beat?
Yeah, guys, I don't know what's the result, to be honest. I don't have the lap time. I don't know what's the result, what we've done, but if we go through to the pole shootout. But yeah, it was definitely not 2 perfect laps, but I did my best. I did improve, I think, in the second lap, but yeah, let's see what's going on. I don't have any information.
We can gladly tell you that you do have the second fastest time of that group right now, and currently sitting in second place with a 1:08.10. Best time put up by Rafa's Chris Lazaraga, 1:06.552. But, and this is a big situation, does Team Drogba, Team Brady, and Team Sierra Racing Club have the goods to deliver? Because if they can top 1:08.1, it's all done and dusted.
Yeah, exactly that. It's I tell you what, I keep saying it, but I'm loving this new format.
Really?
The Jeopardy is great. I think it's really good just to have that extra bit of action and drama and spice. Not to mention the pole shootout still to come.
Pole shootout coming up will be fantastic. It'll be 2 laps, top 4 teams, and then the top 3 teams will get championship points. And last place, 4th place, will get none.
I am, just to safe to say, I'm a bit of a drama hunter. I do like the Jeopardy and just the elimination aspect I'm really enjoying. You know, the idea that you're racing for more than just position and points. It's survival, Todd. I'm just constantly spinning stories.
Win and move on or be eliminated as we continue on here with the E1 Jeddah GP 2026. First round of 8 as Lucas Ordonez now gets extracted from his race bird. And he will be filled in shortly, I'm sure, if he hasn't already, about where he is. Team Aoki, precarious. I'll just say that. They're in a very precarious spot. So what they have to hope is only one team from the next group is faster.
Especially with the margins being as small as they are, I bet they're thinking, maybe they even talk about it now, it's just like, if we just maybe got a little bit more out of that lap, we could have made ourselves in a bit of a safer position, because as it stands, or we saw how Westbrook immediately undid their best lap, and pipped them to P2 in that last session.
Sarah Masira got a look on the phone. I think she just got the timing of where they sit and how they sit. So they are sitting on a 1:08.33, which means if one more of the final 3 boats goes ahead of that, then they are going to be eliminated.
I mean, naturally, they're going to be shooting for the quickest time possible. Sure. They want to beat that Team Rafa time. But I guess in the back of your mind, you know that as long as you get quicker than a 1:08.1, you're safe from elimination.
Yep. So they are now official results, no longer provisional, as we take a look at them and the times associated. 1:06.55, great job by Chris Lazaraga of Team Rafa. Rafa Nell's got to be very happy about that performance, almost securing their spot into, guaranteeing a spot into that pole shootout. For Westbrook and Aoki, it's a little different story. They got to sit and wait. I'll tell you what, if you're on Aoki, you are really crunching the numbers on every single race that goes on here. Before we cut loose the next 3 teams, we go back down as we look at the teams making their way out of the launch zone. And they are all clear and ready to go. So it's Sierra Racing Club. It will be Team Brady, and it will be Team Drogba Global Africa. And then we will have 4.
Yeah. Rihanna Umira Hunt with that first lane benefit for Sierra. Getting that clean water, trying to make full advantage of that lap. I just wonder, yes, there's a benefit of the clean water, but is there a mental disadvantage to having to go first and not kind of having something to try and beat?
I gotta be honest with you, I am a big fan of what Lucas Ordonez did there. I mean, he sat and he waited. He was the last one to go. He said he didn't have the data and like that sign, but I'm sure he's talking to mission control and they're telling him, mate, you got to shave off a second or 2. You got to be quicker. You got to be smoother. So you know exactly what you need to do. But we get the boats into position, the milling area, and we'll take a look at the replays and the highlights of what we just saw in the first heat for Q2. And we have reached the point now in Q2, the final 3 teams trying to give themselves a ticket into pole shootout. It's all about a top 4 position and not getting eliminated. For a man who's got invested interest in this, Lucas Ordonez, let's send it down to Taylor Snyder.
Lucas Ordonez, we're here in these qualifying sessions. Unfortunately, you didn't get the top spot. You're in second, which would be great. However, there is still potential for you to be eliminated with those next 3 boats going out. What's the pressure like?
Yeah, well, we know that it was a decent lap, but not fantastic. I made mistakes in both laps, so yeah, anything can happen. The conditions out there are not easy at all. The course is changing, and yeah, it's very tricky for every pilot, so anything can happen. Let's see if we can put Sarah for the pole shootout, which is will be amazing for Westbrook Racing. But yeah, we have to be happy with the performance, but personally not really happy with that last run. But yeah, tomorrow is what it counts.
Absolutely, tomorrow does count. I know you said earlier today that you figured out your mistake and then you fixed it, and now things are changing. So really it's a long race day. Anything can happen today and tomorrow.
Absolutely, no, it's I really like this Q1, Q2 pole shootout format. It's new for E1 series, and it makes it really exciting for us and hopefully for the spectators. And yeah, exciting. Hopefully we can have Sarah in the big pole shootout, and then yeah, tomorrow is what it counts, as I said.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you.
So that is the situation as we take a look at the 3 teams participating in the B start list. It'll be Sierra Racing Club, Drogba, and Brady. You'll see Rihanna O'Mara Hunt, Ava Mierhagen, and Sam Coleman for Team Brady, the defending champions from the 2025 season. So that means that if Team Brady gets through, which I'm kind of assuming they will, it'll be Emma Kimmelainen that'll be competing for the pole shootout. And
yes,
also Sarah Price if they get through for Westbrook Racing. So a good matchup there strategically. And we'll see how it all plays out. Conditions have not changed a whole lot. A little bit of wind swirling around. And you see the flags there in the distance as well as the palms. So the breeze getting a little bit stiffer in the wind, but the teams will get themselves into position in the milling place. Gives us an opportunity to head back down to the launch zone as we check in one more time with Taylor Snyder.
It's in your hand. Your teammate is out there. What were your thoughts going into this race? What was your conversation like before you headed out there?
I mean, putting a new team together, you know, after like a very difficult season last year with Miami, you know, the trust in me was maybe not the highest, but, you know, I'm building up now, and, you know, the Q1 was very nice, so I think we had the fastest time. So, I mean, we are up there, and now is Rihanna. So, yeah, it's a big pressure now, and, you know, she has been very good. She's new, she hasn't driven so much, but she's really improving every time she drives.
And one more quick question, the elimination, the pressure, is it on, or do you guys just think about your fastest lap out there?
No, I mean, we have a big chance to move through to Q3, and that's what we're aiming for. I mean, we don't give up. I mean, we're here to win, so yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
Trying to get a position in the final 4, also known as qualifying pole shootout. But first, there are laps to be done. 2 laps now for these 3 teams that are lined up in the milling area, ready to go as the first team will slide out. And it is on time as Sierra Racing Club looking to put down a fast time here to apply the pressure. It's Rihanna O'Mara Hunt, Kiwi driver. Big opportunity right now.
Okay, let's see what she can do. First sector has been set in. It is just short of 17 seconds, 16.821. This is what it comes down to. Can they protect themselves and secure a spot in that pole shootout where points are up for grabs? Championship points can be secured here today.
Obviously, you always want to do your best run, Saunders, but I'm wondering if there's a little bit of strategy of going out on the first lap and feeling it out, getting a feel for the course. You haven't been out for a little bit, get back in touch with the boat, and then unleash the dragon, as they say, on the second lap? Or do you lay down a heater on the first one and hope it stands up?
I mean, it's a risk versus reward situation, isn't it? You roll the dice and can you do it in the second lap? But then, you know, one mistake, you don't have the first lap to bank on. And it was the first lap that, of course, was Chris Lazaraga's best.
Brianna O'Mara Hunt now bringing it across. This will be the time, and, well, it's a 109.96. Not terrible, but if you're back on land at the launch zone and you're Westbrook Racing, you're feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, and I think even Aoki as well, maybe a sigh of relief that maybe conditions have worsened slightly, or maybe there just wasn't the best lap, first lap. Let's say there is a second one still to come.
So that means that Sierra Racing will need some kind of improvement, or hope that Team Drogba and Team Brady do not top that time, which is probably highly unlikely.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
All right, so the next team is teeing up. It will be Team Drogba. Eva Amelia Hagen now having her opportunity after speaking with Taylor multiple times, and now it is time to put up.
Let's see if she can channel that speed that she found in Nigeria, in Lagos last season. It was almost a perfect GP for her. Fastest lap podium and the race win for the team. Obviously, she switched teams since then, but the performance was there, and you should channel that speed and see how she stands up in the first sector.
What do you think? A bit of bouncing there. She comes down to make that left-hand turn.
It's quicker than Sierra by almost a second. And we now just to do this by our eyes.
Yeah.
It's not overly it's hard to say because out of the corner it didn't look that smooth, but then she regained it, I think. What do you think, Todd?
It's that first section where we saw that in earlier rounds, a lot of bobbing and side to side, up and down. It's just fractions, margins of seconds, but they add up as she comes around one more time, and it'll be the big long drive down this line and then the left-hander to the finish. Looks good here. I mean, look at the right height. Oh! Announcer jinx, as she was looking very good there, and that will about do that one in. Yeah, big moment there, and so well off the pace and outside the margins. So outside the top four, which is the most important thing to get into that pole shootout. But wow, I think that's the case. Do you think Saunders of trying to make up time too quick at the very end?
Yeah, just really pushing there to try and eliminate the deficit that was made from the little kind of bumps and bubbles that there were earlier on in the lap. And that was fully out of the water, wasn't it? Hard to recover from that.
It's like an orca whale breaching. Just coming out and crashing back down. So here it is one more time on board. Looked so smooth until it wasn't. Boom. Flying is great when you're foiling. That was not ideal.
Yeah, that's a shame. It would have been a way to spice things up when it comes to the jeopardy of who gets through to this pole shootout and who gets eliminated.
And now the final team is Team Brady, Sam Coleman, the two-time defending champions, out on the course, trying to get themselves a top four position, which will get them into the final races of the day, will be the pole shootout, and 3 championship points on the line.
There's a good time. There's getting through to the pole shootout, but there is also knowing the competitiveness between Team Rafa and Brady. 100% bragging rights here. They want to get the quickest time.
Being able to go into the final day of racing on race day with a 3-point advantage over everyone else. Now remember, second place will get 2 points, 1 for third, nothing for fourth. So you make it all the way to the pole shootout and you come away with zip.
This is a very, very strong lap. I think looking at the timing screen that we have access to, it looks like Team Brady and Sam Coleman is purple in both first and second sector. That's purple, not just in this session, purple across the whole Q2. Let's see if it ends up that way within the final sector.
Oh, smooth on that last corner. Is it better than a 106.55? The
answer is!
Yes, it is. A 105.34. Team Brady into the lead.
That is a huge moment for the team, not just for confidence, not just for performance and getting through to the pole shootout, but to regain that championship winning mentality, that confidence, the feeling. Exceptional work from Sam Coleman.
So a huge sigh of relief as Team Brady brings it home in all-class style. 105.34, 1.2 seconds clear of second, and Rafa 2.83 clear of Westbrook. And now for Aoki, you're breathing a little more sigh of relief because you got to be thinking, oh, we thought we were down and out. Maybe not so much.
We've got the two teams currently set for elimination, P5, P6, Sierra and Drogba, on the water right now with a chance to survive and keep
know
themselves.
pretty quick. Yeah.
This is a big final lap from both teams, starting right now with Lieve Hagen for Team. Sorry for this is actually Rihanna, isn't it?
Rihanna Mira Hunt, yeah.
Mira Hunt for Sierra. Big lap. Let's see what she can do. Personal best in the first sector.
She's going to have to shave almost 2 seconds off that first lap to put them into a secure area. She needs to be better than Team Aoki Racing to even give them a chance to get into that pole shootout.
Currently better than Team Drogba, but not better than Aoki through the first sector. Let's see what she can do through the second. Little bit of improvement in that last little bit. Let's see how that second sector looks. No, it's quicker again than Drogba, but slower than Aoki, crucially. It's all down to this last sector for survival.
So Rihanna O'Mara Hunt trying to bring it home for Sierra Racing Club. It'll be one more big left-hander as she comes down, and she will know as soon as she crosses the line, as the team keeps an eye on it. Slight bobble there, gets a little loose. Now she points it straight. Just don't think it's going to be fast enough. And it is not an improvement. So Sierra Racing Club will not be going on to the pole shootout. And that means that Team Aoki right now is safe for the time being, but it will all come down to Team Drogba.
Yeah, a few mistakes there, I think. Full being caught a little bit by the water conditions there, and yeah, that's in this session quite a bit off the pace that Sam Coleman set, but this is a huge moment now. What can Yeva do?
Eva Malera Hagen now has to clean up the mistakes she had on the second half of her first lap. She's got to be better than Team Aoki.
Doesn't look the
same kind of issues that we saw on, yeah, same issues.
First sector.
Oh, and another big moment there.
First sector's not good. It's not even a personal best. A lot of work left to do for the final two sectors. Dig deep. This is the moment to not be eliminated. That looks a lot smoother there. A good amount of time, you'd imagine, coming back in that second sector, but is it enough?
Good speeds on the backside of the course.
It's a personal best, but not quicker than the people she needs to beat, crucially.
Loose. Oh, another moment or two, and I think that's about going to do it in right there.
I think that's the
with
end
one
of the
gate
fight,
to go.
Let's see.
Yeah, off the pace. Much cleaner on that last corner as she brings it to the line, but it is not going to be enough as Team Drogba does not improve. So Sierra Racing Club and Team Drogba have been eliminated here in Q2, which means Team Aoki, they were all down and feeling rotten about everything, and they got to feel much better because they are off to the pole shootout. One team to go, and that's Team Brady, but this is a glory run because they already have secured the top time of 105.34.
This could have gone very differently, I think, when you think about elimination. You know, I think Westbrook and Aoki might have got off a bit lightly now, just because of the time that Sam Coleman got. Clearly, the performance on the water is there. It just wasn't extracted by Sierra and Drogba. Whereas on another day, maybe that could have been a very different story, and the fight could have been brought a bit more to Westbrook and Aoki.
So the Pink Dragon will run one more time at least here on day number 1 of the E1 Jeddah GP, as you are looking at Team Brady and Sam Coleman. Masterclass on his first lap at 105.34. Times don't carry forward, but it'd be kind of cool to see him go sub 105.
It's a battle against himself and the team. Can he beat himself? Not through the first sector. Can he beat himself in the second sector? We'll see.
Just a little bit off the pace right now from what he did. And now look at this, starting to pick up speed. Now he's just showing off.
It was such a good first lap. It was going to take some doing to beat, and he's not done it. Maybe there's, without the need, without the hunger, maybe you kind of take the edge off here, but
it is the magnetic pull of the finish line as Sam Coleman brings it around one more time for Team Brady, the two-time defending champions, as he crosses the line. Not an improvement, goes to a 107.03, so it holds on to the 105.34, and now it is complete. It will be Team Brady, Rafa, Westbrook, and Aoki moving on to the big pole shootout with 2 laps. So now we know exactly what is at play and the 4 teams that'll be participating in the final 2 laps of the day, the qualifying pole shootout, with serious implications on the line. 3 points to the champion, 2 for second, and 1 for third as we now go down on the water. Hey, Sam, great run there, especially on lap number 1. It looks like you were just showing off, fully in control. Love it when a plan comes together, right?
Don't know about the A-team quote, there's no cigars in here, but yeah, it was good. We're kind of trying to still find the balance. Emma gave me some great tips on lines coming into it, so just happy to be fastest in the session. That's all I can ask for, and hand the boat over to Emma in one piece.
Sam, appreciate the time. Wish you the best of luck in the pole shootout. So it is now official. 4 teams have advanced on to the pole shootout, where there will be championship points available as Team Brady comes in to the launch zone, and there will be a change of pilots. And I'll tell you what, there were a lot of teams down there on the launch zone breathing a heavy sigh of relief when those results came in. For one of them, let's check in now with Taylor Snyder.
I'm down here with Aoki Racing, and all smiles, all laughter are down here. The relief is clear from you guys that you are moving on into that pole shootout, correct?
Yes, we made it through, and now it's for Danny to take the baton and bring it home.
So the pressure is back on. Now we're talking points. Obviously, you made it to the end of today. What do these points mean in terms of the long run?
Well, you know, at the end, we could see last year that these points made the difference also with some other drivers or boats. So each point matters, and yeah, we're here for that.
And what is it like? Obviously, you guys have a great repertoire. So going into tomorrow's race day, how does that help so much, feeling this relief and this happiness?
I think it's a good start to opening of the season, making it to Q3. I think we both have, from the first time we got out of the water, being here at Jeddah to now, there's been a massive improvement with the team. Everyone's been hard at work getting the boat prepared, so it's just heads down and ready for tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Let's do this.
So it is the return of the Pink Dragon back into Q3, also known as the pole shootout. As we will see the final results, it will be Brady, it will be Rafa, Westbrook, and Aoki that make it to Q3. There you see the times, all of them 108.33 or better. Unfortunately for Sierra Racing Club and Team Drogba, their day of racing here on first day of the E1 Jeddah GP 2026 has come to a conclusion as they are eliminated. And as the sun begins its slower descent in the west here in the Bride of the Red Sea in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, we have 2 more laps to compete. It's going to be a quick turnaround, and it came down to some clutch driving. Of course, Team Rafa's Chris Lazaraga doing a fantastic job to get her team into Q3 as we check in once again with Taylor.
Chris, I was speaking with your teammate Tom earlier. Obviously the frustration was there, but I think that's kind of gone now that you've made it through to that pole shootout. What is the pressure like? You go through a little bit of high and low as the race day goes on.
Yes, but to be honest, this format in E1, it's always the same. You have to go step by step. You just can't lose the focus. And I think the whole team is happy to be in Q3, this new format we're trying today. It's interesting. I like it so far. So now it's Tom's turn. Let's see what he can do, and let's fight.
The heat has gone down significantly, so obviously does that change any of the conditions out there on the water, or how much you can really put in there and fight?
No, it changes for us because the temperature in the cockpit is crazy. So yes, of course, it's much better to drive like this.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chris.
You're welcome.
All right, so the team's going through the final preparations until we get ready to the pole shootout. 2 laps over 20 minutes to find out who will take home those 3 championship points. We'll see that in a moment. And it's the moment you've all been waiting for here on day number 1 of the UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF, as we have made it to Q3, also known as the pole shootout. And then there were 4. 4 teams have earned the right to battle it out here on the waters of Jeddah, the beautiful Red Sea, as the sun begins to set. And it will be very interesting to see who can emerge here. You've got Team Rafa with Tom Chop, Team Brady with Emma Kimalainen, Team Aoki, Danny Close, and Team Westbrook with Sarah Price. So a bit of strategy in this one. Remember, it is 2 laps that you have to complete in 20 minutes. And whoever has the fastest time will not only walk away with the winner as the pole shootout, but they will also carry forward 3 championship points on the weekend, 2 for second place and 1 point for third, nothing for fourth place. So the onus is really on to aim in the top 3 positions and get yourself some valuable championship points and really set yourself up for race day coming up tomorrow here in Jeddah. So the team's in position, now the milling begins, and now you see Mission Control has cleared out considerably as everyone's gonna see who is gonna emerge victorious. Will it be Team Rafa, Team Aoki? Will it be Team Brady or Westbrook Racing?
20 seconds to go, and here's the standoff there between Brady and Rafa. It feels like rinse and repeat. We've had this many times. Westbrook in the mix now, Aoki in the mix.
All right, Saunders, who do you like? Look into your crystal ball and tell me who's going to win this thing.
It's hard to look away from Brady at the moment. Let's see, Aoki are off. They'll set the benchmark for this pole shootout. Danny Close, show us what you got.
And I think for my point of view, as a novice, I like Aoki Racing Team just on the fact they've got nothing to lose. They did not think they were going to make it into here, and so here they are with an opportunity to just let it all hang out.
Absolutely.
So the clock is underway. We are T-minus 20 minutes before we find out who will walk away with the 3 championship points from the pole shootout. Waiting for the right opportunity, getting some information, fully charged up, ready to work that boost, full throttle, and it's a full send moment here in Jeddah.
So important getting a very clean entry and exit in and out of that first set of turns. You try and carry as much speed through that first one, and before you meet the 3 that follow, then it's hard on the throttle for the back straight, where you can make up any time that you might have potentially lost on those first few turns.
I know it's a mistake before I even say it, but I'm going to try to put my weather hat on and say by the flags around the course, it looks like the wind has died down just a little bit. And we heard Taylor reporting in her conversations with some of the pilots that it is a lot cooler. So with cooler temperatures, a little less wind, maybe the course is smoothed out just a little bit, and it's going to allow them to find that speed as you get a look at the teams looking on and their partners, and it will be Aoki, Danny Close, Sara Masir, we saw moments ago, his partner got them to this point, and now it's Danny Close's time to close the deal.
A decent amount of time here to get those 2 laps in.
Yeah.
And they do have the option to abort one, similar to the time trials. And you can actually see the visibility might be getting a bit more challenging now because it's a lot darker than it was for the earlier sessions. There's probably only an hour or 2 max left of light here going on. I wonder if that's going to, you can see it there
right,
on the onboard. Let's go. Show us what you've got.
And the racing is on here in Jeddah.
So far looking quite good. Balance into that first set of turns. A bit of a wobble there through that yellow mark.
Ooh, dipped on the right side.
How much speed can he take through this set of corners? First one's not so bad, nice and close to the smart marker, not leaving anything out on the water. Again, looking pretty smooth, Todd. This one is super important.
Yep.
The exit of this onto that back straight, full power on the boost.
Look at that ride height. Oh, and a little bit of a dip there.
Oh. You've got that low sun to contend with now on that back straight as well. You can see it there on the onboard.
It has been a long day of racing for the 10 teams, and now we are down to 4, and a big moment now for Aoki Racing and Danny Close. Can he close the deal here on this final turn? He'll make a left-hander, and he'll bring it to the line, and he will set the mark to beat, and it's gonna be, well, it's sub 108, but it's not as good as we've seen in the last 45 minutes to an hour. It is a 107. So 107.625 is now the target.
Benchmark has been set. Next up, Sarah Price for Team Westbrook. Someone that was very quick in the time trials earlier.
Well, you talk about her, she went sub 105, one of the first to go out on the course when the conditions may have been just maybe a little lighter. She threw down a 104 time, so can she do it again and bookend this day of racing?
Coming off the back of success with Dakar and Defender. She's been in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia for the last few weeks. Momentum goes a long way in motorsport. This is crunch time, Sarah Price.
Fellow storm rider Lucas Ordonez sitting there in the launch zone watching his teammate go, and she is underway in a full send moment.
So far looking quite composed. Time will tell when we see the result of that first sector. Is it quicker than Aoki and Danny Close? It is quite significantly, if that. This could be interesting. There may be a glitch in the timings we have on our screens here, as I don't think it was a purple sector. It would show purple, of course, but it's quicker than Aoki. It's showing green.
Buttery smooth on that back straightaway.
But purple overall. Second sector certainly is purple. It's just short of half a second quicker than Danny Close previously in Aoki. Third sector is what it's going to come down to. Can she match the pace that she showed so well earlier today in the time trials? She's got one sector to do it.
Looking to top a 107.625 as she comes across the line.
108.
So just off, and you got to think it was that last sector.
Yeah, she lost over half a second in that last sector, and the rest she lost in the first sector. She was quicker in the second sector, but yeah, not to be for that first lap. There's one more lap to go, though, of course, for everyone, and 2 laps for Tom Chap and Emma Kimmelinen still to go.
Okay, so it is a 1-2 situation for the two teams we've seen, Aoki and Westbrook at 107.62 and 108.28 respectively. And now it's a big opportunity. Taylor talked with Tom Chap earlier, was not happy with the boat setup, was not happy the way it was performing. This is his time now to see if he can right all the wrongs and put his team into first place.
It's getting moody out there on the water. The sun is setting past the start finish. Let's see what Tom Chap can do for Rafa. Someone that we know can be quick when it comes to one-lap pace in E1, but it hasn't been the case today. Have they learned the lessons and improved the race bird enough to get a better time? First sector will be coming through shortly. It's not quicker.
Off the pace by more than half a second.
A smooth run through these corners and a perfect exit out of here onto the back straight using that boost. You can see the green bar being depleted as he pushes that boost hard, trying to make up as much time as possible going into the final set of corners. Sector 2, it's quickest so far, quicker than Sarah Price in the Westbrook. A perfect third sector now could be enough to top the timings.
Looking for better than a 107.6. Tom Chap, the pilot for Team Rafa, brings it to the line. No, 108.08. So Rafa goes into second place ahead of Westbrook Racing, but behind Aoki Racing Team. So maybe that Danny Close run that we saw wasn't so bad after all.
I think maybe set a decent benchmark there. Emma Kymäläinen, though, still to go. We've seen how competitive the Brady machine has been so far today.
Yeah, she is that finish precision. Still 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go, so you wonder if she maybe plays the delay card here just a minute, let the water settle down, let the chop come down, and then she is off and running. What can she do? She needs better than a 107.6 to move into first place for Team Brady.
Perfect trim control there, keeping the Racebird balance above the water, nice and smooth. This is the crunch time, though. This first set of turns is where a lot of time can be lost in the lap. A little bit of a wobble going into it, but a clean exit. Let's see what she can do for this one.
Full throttle on the boost. Got to let that regenerate.
Oh, very wobbly, Todd.
Yeah, a bit wide as she tries to clean it up here on the backside.
Big exit out of here, using that boost. Not as much remaining as others. A little burst of the boost just out of that corner onto the back straight. Trying to get perpendicular, parallel with the water.
Flying on the foils, and now it'll be two left-handers. What does she have?
It's quickest in both sectors so far. It's a good lap. Can she get the perfect lap? Completely purple across the sectors. Few more turns to find out. Here we go. Has she done it? She has.
Emma Kymäläinen has just dropped the hammer on the rest of the field as she goes 104.3.
With one lap down, the double reigning champions looking like they've picked up where they left off. Unbelievable performance.
Yeah, nice little exhale there from her partner Sam Coleman. Got to feel really good about that. That was a stellar run. 104.3 for Team Brady with one lap to go. The next closest time is a 107.6.
Over a 3-second gap, whereas behind there's less than a second between the other three on the water right now. They've set the benchmark, they've set it well. A little bit of a safety blanket, but a lot can change very quickly in E1.
So 4 more laps before bringing day one to a conclusion here in Jeddah. Wasting no time, Aoki Racing Team and Danny Close.
There was improvement to be made in the first sector from the first lap. Can he improve it on the second lap? He can. Improves it significantly on his own time, but crucially not better than Emma Kymäläinen.
I'm telling you what, Saunders, that 104.3, that is going to be, I don't say next to impossible to beat, but you're going to have to be practically flawless to get in that neighborhood.
Couldn't agree more. Let's see what he can do in the second and third sector. Quite a bit to do based on the time so far. We're looking for that to be green or purple. It's green. It's an improvement on his own lap time, but again, Emma Kymäläinen still with the edge. Last set of corners now to try and make up the deficit. Final push for Danny Close and Aoki. What can they do? Improve their own time,
yep,
but not overall, crucially.
So 106.07. Pick up a little bit of time on Team Brady, but not enough to overtake. But they distance themselves by almost 2 seconds over third place. So have they locked up second and the potential 2 championship points that carry over till tomorrow? About to find out. So they are done. Aoki Racing Team now can take it into launch zone and sit and watch the show unfold with 3 more teams to go. And we'll know very quickly if Team Rafa or Westbrook Racing has what it takes to overtake Team Brady's 104.3.
Sarah Price pushing fast to try and build up that gap, improve the time, move herself up the order in the chance for some points, some championship points up for grabs from this session.
The dusk of Jeddah as the backdrop, as Sarah Price liked to bookend her day. She threw down a 104 the first time she was out on the water in qualifying time trials, but can she do it now with the conditions as they are?
It's a personal improvement through the Sector 1, but not making any headway on those ahead. Sector 2 needs to be better. It's better than Tom Chap in Team Rafa. Last sector could be the difference between fourth and third. It's all down to these last few corners. Sarah Price, Westbrook, what can she do?
She's got to nail this corner right here. Smooth exit, crosses the line.
She's done it.
There we go.
Up into third position.
So 107.5, an improvement for her. So Westbrook now sitting in third, but have they guaranteed themselves at least 1 point?
Chance for Tom Chap now to respond with Rafa.
So it comes down to this. Tom Chap will be the penultimate pilot to hit the course. If he cannot go better than a 104.3, that means Team Brady will take the 3 championship points. And I got to think for Rafa, who's sitting in fourth right now, just picking up a second or two here to get themselves guaranteed at least a point.
The chips, I would say, are stacked against them, especially with the comments that Tom himself made about the team struggling for pace and performance today. A little bit of luck, I think, will be needed alongside some pace and balance to get around this course smoothly. Here we go into the first set of corners. Tom Chap, quickest in Sector 1. The question was asked and he's answered it pretty well so far. 2 more sectors to go. He's locked in, focused and concentrated in the cockpit.
Boy, he spins the boat around. Look at the exit time.
This could be a big moment for Tom Chap.
Huge moment now for Team Rafa. The final 20 seconds. Can they get it done?
Oh, it's a second loss in the second sector to Emma Kymäläinen. Quicker in the first sector, but not by a second. So at the moment, it's looking still like Brady have got it, but
he needs better than a 107.5 to get himself a point and put them on the podium here at the end of Q3.
A strong third sector could be the difference here. It needs to be strong. You need to push, Tom. No.
So 107.2 does not help the cause.
Points on the table, guaranteed, but not as many as they would have hoped. But points are points.
And that does mean that Team Brady has locked up the 3 points with the fastest time in Q3 pole shootout, a 104.353 at the hands of Emma Kymäläinen, and now this is just a run for glory.
It's kind of been the story of their day. They've done the job at the first point of asking, and then it's just been put your feet up for the second point.
Bit anticlimactic here, because now she can just go out there and have a little fun. Do you go out now and really push it hard and see if you can go sub 104? Or do you say, work is done, give me the 3 points?
The racing here in this session, of course, being for those points, but also for the seeding order when it comes to the group sessions tomorrow and the race day.
What makes Emma Kymäläinen from Finland such a good driver?
I think it's mixed discipline. You know, I think like with a lot of others, she's come from having pretty much tried everything. She's tried things on asphalt, things on water, things on ice. Like, I think it's a bit of understanding of everything.
She is a ruthless competitor, showing no signs of emotion as she is locked in on the mission at hand, knowing already that they have won the pole shootout and will claim the 3 championship points that they will carry forward tomorrow. It was at 104.3 made everyone chase, and I think a lot of the teams thought, Saunders, hey, we can't get to 104, so basically we're fighting for second and third.
Yeah, those points can still go a long way, even if it's not the top amount of 3, 2 and 1 can be the difference between potentially a championship when we look ahead.
And she will bring it around one more time, and it will be official, and this is going to be a pretty fast time, but not as fast as the first time as she backs off the dogs just a little bit, 107.56, and it is official. A 104.353 rules the day, and it is Team Brady that claims the pole shootout and the 3 points as the fastest boat on water.
And the first point of asking, Brady back at the top of the championship.
So the two-time reigning and defending champions, their work is done as they open the campaign in the 2026 season with a big first day of racing here in Jeddah. We're glad we got everything under wraps and getting it done, because otherwise it would have been racing after dark with E1, as we are now able to go down on the water. Emma, congratulations. It's like a parade drive-by as you wave to your fans. Take us through the day from the start in qualifying time trials to what you just uncorked here out of the water.
Yeah, great team effort once again. It is tricky conditions. The water is sometimes a bit crazy. We're talking about very fine lines here. So I was happy to pull that first lap off, and then I was experimenting a little bit because we already had the pole. But yeah, it didn't turn out to be good, but it's good to experiment. Every drive here in E1 is a test.
Well, it's absolute finish precision. We appreciate your time. Emma Kimmelainen and Team Brady getting the job done here on day one of racing at the E1 Jeddah GP 2026. Sending out some love to Mom. Smart lady. And to her daughter. So she will bring it home, and the celebration can now begin. It'll be short-lived as the sun has set, because tomorrow, Saunders, it is race day.
It sure is. Really looking forward to it. This is getting spicier as the sessions go on. We've got a whole packed schedule of racing tomorrow. Not one to miss.
As if Tom Brady needs more trophies. He picks up another win, the 7-time Super Bowl champion, and his squad getting it done here in Jeddah with a big embrace. Emma Kimmelainen putting the ribbon on top, and Sam Coleman doing a great job in Q2 to get them there.
There's not a lot that this team can seem to do wrong right now, especially on the water. It's unbelievable performance going all the way back to Lago Maggiore last season. You know, it was a win, it was a second, it was a fourth, it was a win. And now with qualifying, they've done the business to get the first 3 points and put themselves in a great position for the race day tomorrow, where more points are up for grabs.
How long we got? Hello. Well done. Yeah.
I'm ready when you are.
Good job. Well done.
10 seconds.
Well, we'll let them celebrate momentarily, and Taylor Snyder is on the scene to get the first tan from the two teammates of Team Brady.
Down here with our top qualifiers. Emma, that was an absolute masterclass. You went last in that group session, and everybody was putting up pretty good times, and then you came with a 3-second difference. What was that like? Did you know how excellent your time was?
Yeah, well, it was a pretty good lap. So I did expect that it would be good. But yeah, then the last one I started experimenting a little bit, but now it just confirmed the things that I had already figured out. So yeah, feels really good. I'm super proud of Sam as well. A great team effort, and yeah, 3 extra points for us as championship points course, opened.
Yeah, they all matter.
Which is great. It all matters, as we saw last year.
You started like you finished last year on top. Do you think that puts the other drivers on notice that you guys are still here ready to fight to hold on to that?
Oh, we're going to be here all season ready to fight, but we got pole here in Jeddah last year and had a tough race day, so we're excited, we're happy with the 3 points on the board, but we know tomorrow's going to be a tough day.
3 points do mean everything, though, in the long run, but how exciting is it taking that into tomorrow?
Very exciting. I feel super good because this just confirms that we need to trust our own process, and yeah, we know kind of what to do. So yeah, it means that this is a good start for the year.
Congratulations, Emma and Sam and Team Brady.
Well done, as they make a good point. They finished the season on top with 195 points, Saunders, but they started off Jeddah last year finishing off the podium in 5th place.
Yeah, and I think that mostly came down to prop choice. It makes you think, we now look ahead to tomorrow. Conditions could be different. They get another prop choice for the start of the day tomorrow. Still so much up for grabs.
So for a team that barely made it into the pole shootout, Team Aoki comes away with 2 points. Rafa comes away with the final single point, and a missed opportunity there for Westbrook Racing. Sarah Price thought she had done enough with Lucas Ordonez, but they come up just short. They finished in 4th place. So 3 points to Team Brady on the championship season. Aoki Racing gets the 2, and Team Rafa coming away with a single point and a bit of momentum as they carry on to race day tomorrow. So as the sun sets here in Jeddah, we put a wrap on things and we take a look at the standings. What a day. Team Brady, dominant from the get-go, but there were some moments where you thought, okay, maybe it's Westbrook Racing's weekend. Maybe it's Aoki Racing Team's weekend. In the end, cream rises to the top.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
A good way to trial this new format as well for qualifying. Super exciting with the elimination and the shootout for those crucial points and seeding for tomorrow.
Yep. Hey, Saunders, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out and holding my hand along the way.
Pleasure, great to be here.
Once again, it is Team Brady that comes in and they set the tone, winning Q3 pole shootout, picking up 3 points. Aoki Racing gets second for the 1 point and 1 single point going the way of Team Rafa as the teams will debrief, regroup, and get set for tomorrow. It is day number 1, race day, and it is all on tomorrow at the UIM E1 World Championship presented by PIF. So for Taylor Snyder, Saunders Carmichael Brown, I'm Todd saying so long for now from Jeddah. We'll see you tomorrow.